Today we're going to make a floor lamp out of copper pipe. We're going to show two different aesthetic options for this lamp and two different ways to make it dimmable. We're going to start by making a base that's nice and heavy so that the lamp doesn't tip over. I got a traffic cone and some 3/4 inch copper pipe from Home Depot, and I used duct tape to secure the pipe through the cone. The pipe will allow us to run cords through the base, and the duct tape will make sure that no concrete leaks out. I used some C-clamps to clamp the cone upside down to a base that I made out of 2x4s. Now I just taped the pipe to the side of the cone, but if you wanted to, you could cut a hole in the cone and have the pipe actually protrude from it. I mixed some Quikrete 5000 and then scooped it into the cone. After every couple of scoops, I would shake and tap the sides of the cone to help remove some of the air bubbles. After letting the concrete cure for 48 hours, I took off the duct tape and peeled back the cone. Some of the duct tape was a little bit stuck, so I just cut it away or used pliers to just pull it out. I got this cool looking toggle switch and I wanted to encase it in copper, so I got some 1-inch copper pipe with a cap and then drilled a hole through the cap and the pipe. I needed a way to cut from the end of the pipe to the hole I drilled, so I made a mini saw using a jigsaw blade that's designed to cut metal that I just taped and glued to a scrap piece of wood. I then used some sandpaper to smooth out this slot that I cut. I can now slide the switch into the pipe, put the cap on, and then use the nut that came with the toggle switch to secure it all together. I then use my tubing cutter to cut down the 1-inch diameter copper pipe. Now the pipe that I embedded into the concrete was sticking out above the surface of the concrete, so I needed to add some feet. So I just drilled holes through the concrete, then hot glued in these pre-made feet that I bought from Home Depot. I then cut pieces of 1/2 inch diameter, 1 inch diameter, and 2 inch diameter copper pipe to make the lamp. You can use tubing cutters for the smaller diameter pieces, but for the 2-inch pipe I used a saw. I started by running the wire that had the plug on it through the base. I then used a 3/4 inch to 1/2 inch coupling to add on the 1/2 inch diameter pipe. I used a reducing coupling, some 1/2 inch diameter pipe, and a 1/2 inch T to make the switch. I used 2-inch pipe, 1-inch pipe, and a couple of reducing couplers to make the part that's going to house the socket for the light bulb. I then ran the wires through and connected them, and then did a dry fit of all the copper pipe. Working with electricity can be dangerous, so always consult a professional electrician before taking on any electrical DIY project. I put in this cool old-timey looking LED bulb and tested the light, and yay, it works. So now that I know my wiring works, I can go back and glue together all of my connections. I like using Gorilla Glue to connect the copper pipe because when you slightly dampen the joints with water and then apply the Gorilla Glue expands and foams up a little bit, resulting in a nice tight fit. The Gorilla Glue will foam out of the connections just a little bit, so I just used an X-Acto knife to cut and scrape that away. I used steel wool to polish all of the copper pieces. The only piece that I didn't glue in was the last piece of 2-inch copper pipe. Now this light looks great, but it's not yet dimmable, so I switched out the switch in my room with this Leviton dimmable switch. I now have a precise way of controlling exactly how much light is coming through this bulb. Now I personally like exposed bulbs, but they can look a little bit unfinished, so I also want to try to create more of an Art Deco looking version that uses one of these nice plastic globes. I got this globe from Home Depot and I used my knife just to trim down the rim of it a little bit. I also decided to try out one of these Whiz light bulbs, which is Wi-Fi enabled, so you can control the light from your phone. So I removed the old light bulb, added a 3-inch to 2-inch copper reducer, inserted the new Whiz light bulb. I downloaded the Whiz lighting app to my phone, and now I'm able to control the bulb from my phone. Not only can I do all sorts of cool special effects and preset colors, I can also control exactly the amount of coolness or warmness I want the white light to have. This is really handy for me since I take a lot of photos in my living room, and this lets me match the light from the light bulb to a specific time of day. I then added the plastic globe into the 3-inch side of the reducing coupling, and now I have my own little private street lamp. For more information, check out my website, and if you want to see what I'm working on next, be sure to follow me on Instagram. Check out some of our other videos, and don't forget to subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. Thanks! Bye!